In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do a non-destructive cutout. So you will not be using the eraser tool for this cutout. As always, first thing I want you to do is to duplicate your background. This is just a thing that I like to do because it keeps a nice, pristine version of the original image. That way, if I mess up, I can always delete everything and come back to that. But after I duplicate it, I turn that background off, because otherwise we will see everything behind it, or behind this copy, whenever we decide to cut it out. So the easiest way to do this, without using this tool here, which is the eraser tool, is to use the quick select tool, and then you adjust your bracket size, or your brush size, using the brackets, and you get it about that size right there, and you just start selecting the parts that you need cut out. It's really pretty simple. Don't worry about her hair, because a lot of times we're going to smooth that out anyway. Now you'll notice up here that we didn't get all of it, and I did that on purpose because I want to show you why we do this way. Okay, so now once I've made that selection, I'm going to go over here just below the layers palette. I'm going to make sure I am in the layers palette, and then this tool right here is the layer mask. Now watch what happens when I click this. I just got rid of my entire background, but you'll notice that these parts that I did not select are showing as transparent as well. You'll notice that the cutout is actually a mask, and so this mask is black and white. So what we want to do is we want to actually fix this part here, and the way we do that is we need our mask part to be white to show Piper. So we're going to select that as the foreground white color. We're going to go to the brush tool. You need to make sure that you're not selected here on the actual image, but you're selected to the mask. When you're on the mask, get your brush size the right size. I'm going to go ahead and take the opacity back up to 100, and then I'm just going to paint her back in. Now you'll notice it's feathered. Sometimes you don't want it to be feathered because it'll bleed over into other areas. So let's change our hardness back up. And then we're going to paint this back in. So now we have all the parts we need of her, except for this part over here on the camera. And you'll notice that we're actually getting some of the background there, and there's also some background here that's peeking through. Now, this is why we use this tool, because we can go in and we can fix those spots, in just those spots. So I'm going to use my selection tool again, and I'm going to select that area. And I need to go down here in the very corner and get this with a smaller brush. That'll work. Alright, now I've got that selected. I go back to my brush tool, and then I just paint that. I paint it with the color of that's not the mask, which is black in this case, and then this same area right up here. And that just cuts that out for me. Now up here where I got to do some minor editing, the way you do this is you just change your brush tool into a smaller size. You have to deselect that. And I'm just going to go in here, and I'm going to change that brush size to where I fit in that little nook and cranny. And I'll have a pretty tight cutout. Now, the secret to a cutout is to not have any jagged edges. Okay, so that's a really rough cutout. Normally I would go over here and I would actually fix her hair, and I would actually go into the shirt and just get rid of all the hair. That way she's cut out there. I'll show you how to do that. You just do the same thing with the brush tool. Sorry, wrong tool. Get the brush tool, get the size right, and then you just go through and erase it. Now let's say if I do something really stupid and I go, whoops, and I cut all the way across her like that. Well, that's it. That's an easy fix. You just swap the colors on your brush palette, and then you just paint it back in. And that right there is the reason why we do it this way. So once you have your cutout, what I like to do is to put a layer behind it, and especially if it's going to be a cutout on a white page, you can fill that layer with the foreground color, which is white, and you can actually see what the cutout's going to look like on your spread. Sometimes you need to go in and soften these edges a little bit, but that's the quick and easy way to do a cutout. When you're done, you'll want to save this as a PSD. So you go to File, Save As, and then save it as a PSD. If you save as a PSD, you'll always have all of this information over here, and you'll be able to easily re-edit your image if you need to.